Hello friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Brock Rowell. Alright, I got a little cleanup project I got to do today. Let me show you what happened. I got up yesterday morning, my first day of my weekend, and I got up, it was kind of dark out, and I kind of looked out the window. It was just almost getting to be a little light in the morning, and said to myself, wow, it looks like one of the branches came off of one of the trees or something. When I got up a couple of hours later and actually explored a little bit more, no, this isn't just a branch that came down. Somebody cut some of the branches and just had the debris just pummel my yard. Now I get it. I'm not sure who it was that did it, if it's Encore or if it was the city that did it, you know, but I get the need to trim branches when they interfere with the power lines up there. So they did that, and so I don't have a problem with them having done that. The problem is, one, they didn't clean up after it. Now I think they're actually in the process of cleaning up today. Maybe they ran out of time on Saturday when they did this. I do know that they cut the power to do it. So yeah, jeez, look at all this. Even knocked that thing off the wall when it came down. Hopefully we didn't damage it. But yeah, look at this mess here. All these big massive branches dropping into my yard. This is kind of my garden here. It pummeled this area because everything here was actually in here, because they brought all of these branches just straight down into my garden here. You can still see there's pretty good sized branches in there that got left there, and that kind of ticks me off a little bit. But let me tell you what really ticks me off. That's over here. All this stuff over here, this all dropped down on Flash's habitat right there. That was all, this whole area was buried in branches. I moved them out of the way because I was concerned about Flash. I didn't know where she was. Was she trapped under here? I don't know. So I ended up pulling all the branches over there to get them out of the way. Turns out she's okay, but this could have really been bad. A 40-pound branch landing on top of her could have killed her. Or it could have trapped her in a place that she couldn't have gotten out of and couldn't control her body temperature because she's cold-blooded. So this was a very dangerous situation. And so far as I can tell, I got no warning that this was happening. Now, I don't know the circumstances behind it. Like I said, there was a power failure on the day they did this. So it's possible that one of the branches, maybe even right here on this tree, was the thing that caused a power outage, and they had to cut the branches down to clear the line and restring the line. If that's what happened, then okay, I get it, no warning. But if this was something that they just looked at this and said, hey, you know, we need to get in here, these branches are really interfering with the lines, and the truth is they still sort of are. Let me show you what I mean here. I mean, right here, this branch right here is directly laying on the line. If that branch came off there, it could come down and bring the whole line with it. And look at how the lines intertwine with those two branches there. So see, there's still a lot of room for improvement. But you know, if this had been something that they'd planned, though, like I said, I wish they had told me ahead of time that it was happening, so I could have, you know, taken precautions to make sure that we didn't quite do the damage that we did. But anyway, like I said, there's some cleanup crews that are going around right now. They must be on a break, but I've heard them in the house behind me and the house over there, clearing brush out of the backyard and throwing it into one of their grinder machines. Truth is, I'm going to let them have the small pieces, but I'm going to cut some of the larger pieces off and save it as firewood. Hey, that's my compensation for the damage they did to my yard, right? Now, as I sort through stuff, I'm going to have to cut some of the littler stuff off, and I got a chainsaw for that. And as it turns out, I had to actually do a little work on the chainsaw. Last time I used it, the chain accidentally jumped off the track, and I had to kind of take it apart to get the chain back on. And it turns out when I got the chain back on, I put it on backwards, and so it wasn't working. And you know, you'd try cutting and nothing would cut because you don't have the blades facing forward on the cut. So I just had to take it apart and put the chain back on the right way. Now what we can do is, like I said, I'm going to pick some of these branches, pick the good ones and throw away the bad ones, or let them have the bad ones. They can grind up the bad ones if they want, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to start, like I said, cutting off some of the little branches so that I can get the big stuff out of there. And then, as often happens in Texas, nature says, I have other plans. Oh, and the power is out for the third time in 4 days. This time the UPS did exactly what it was supposed to do, as it did last time. It kept the computer on for 5 minutes per my instruction, and then it said, okay, that's it. We're issuing a shutdown command. Last time I did this, the computer came right back and it was right where it left. All my web pages were open. Anything that had been open at the time was still open. So it worked well the second and third time. Well, we'll see what happens the third time, but it did shut the machine down. So that's good. We're in power saving mode, and we'll just wait for the power to come back on. Hopefully it happens quickly today. And as often happens in Texas weather, something that seems like it has great potential turns out to be nothing. We got about 2/100 of an inch out of that. Didn't even have enough to top off the already full rain barrel. So disappointing rainstorm, but that's okay. I guess we can live with that. I ended up breaking down all the lumber into the stuff I wanted and to the stuff I didn't. I dragged the stuff that I didn't want into the front yard under the driveway, and they just pulled the grinder machine up into my driveway, and they're just chewing it all up. So I got about to the point where I was like 80% done, and they just said, you know, whatever else you want to throw away, just put in a pile here and our guys will come and get it. So they're just doing final cleanup right now. Looks like they're coming in here with a rake and just clean up some of the leaves, and then this project will be done, I think. Alright, so they actually did a good job cleaning up here. As I said, I got to the point where when I was getting to the point I was still cutting like the little branches off the big branches that I wanted to keep. They said, yeah, just leave the stuff you want to get rid of in one pile. We'll come back and take that. Then they came in here with the rakes and leaf blowers and kind of cleaned up all the waste. So, yeah, they took care of things pretty quick. I also noticed they had some guys in here looking at this, because I'm still a little concerned about that, and obviously they are too. Maybe not so much on this because the wire is laying on the branch instead of the branch laying on the wire, but that's not the case on this one. On this one, the branch is on top of the wire, so that creates a danger. And I kind of thought they were going to send somebody back here to take care of that too, but they didn't. So I don't know, maybe they determined it wasn't as serious of a problem as it looks. But yeah, like I said, got everything cleaned up. It turns out this is a piece that got knocked off the wall. It doesn't look like it was damaged in any way, so I was just able to hang him back up. So he looks good. Maybe he needs a little bit of cleaning, but they probably all do after, what, 2 years in the backyard. Color still looks great, so that protective coating I put on it is doing a good job. So anyway, I see that the power is back on, so I'm going to start getting everything reboot and powered back up again, because, you know, after a power outage, even with the UPS over there, you know, it can cause some issues. So we're going to probably spend the rest of the next hour or so getting that all wrapped up. Then hopefully we can get this video edited for you, and you'll be able to see it tomorrow. So I think that's all I have for today. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you next time on Escaping the Mouse. Good night.